suffering the result of attachment. Yogis say, because you are attached to someone or something, or having something in your life a certain way, dies or leaves you, you feel loss and grief, you feel pain. And so the yogis say that it is due to your attachment that when that to which the forms to which you are attached change or leave or go away, you become unhappy, distraught. You experience suffering. But this is not so simple as it seems, because you are living in a human body and a human mind. Your aware consciousness is aware of the five senses and the experience of living in this world. You are not separate from this. You have merged your awareness into this existence in the body and the mind. And if you are afraid to be hurt, so you love no one, what kind of life do you have? A loveless life. This is not the way to know the divine, for the nature of the divine is love. That consciousness that is your essence, the closest word that comes to it is love. Infinite, unconditional love. So if you live your life trying to avoid suffering by not loving, then you will surely have suffering, for you will be devoid of love. But when situations change and circumstances change, and those you love are torn away from you for one reason or another, you experience pain and suffering. When you go to express your being in the world, which is your natural inclination, your natural dharma as a human being in the world, to express who you are, when you go to do that, if you are afraid to lose, to fail, and you never express yourself, surely you will suffer. So lack of expression and achievement and engagement causes you suffering. Lack of loved ones, lack of loving in your life and attaching to others causes you suffering. So what to do? If you don't attach yourself, you suffer a bitter, lonely life. If you don't go to achieve something in the world, you suffer disappointment. Your energy is blocked. You feel badly. But if you love with all your heart others, when they go away, when they die, when they leave you, you suffer. So what to do? What is the solution? Either way, there is suffering. The same if you achieve expression in the world through a career or family or whatever your form of self-expression. If there's failure in it, if people don't appreciate you, they don't like what you're doing, you suffer. But if you don't express yourself, if you don't try to achieve something in your life, you also suffer to do. If you secretly desire to be approved of and admired by others, you suffer that hurt inside that you're being ignored, that you're not approved of, that you're not loved. And you suffer. But if you go out in the world and put all your energy into gaining the approval and admiration of others, you also suffer when that admiration goes away. So, how to work with this worldly life where you are experiencing your consciousness in your body, in your mind, in your sensory experience of the world, how to relate to this, how to relate to suffering in your life. Can it be avoided or must it be accepted? Can acceptance change the experience, or is the experience of suffering truly inherent in human life? What to do? The yogis say that it is due to the identification of your sense of self with embodiment in the body and in the mind, with being an individual that is the fundamental cause of suffering. Because when you are an individual, you are separate. You have a separate sense of self. There is you and everybody else, the others. There is you and the world. You are separate. Naturally, you want to achieve something, you want to accomplish something, and you fear old age, sickness, loss, poverty. All manner of fears come for people. It varies from person to person. Loss of loved ones. You fear loss, ill health, and death. For the body wants to survive. The mind wants to survive. But you know as well that human life is very temporary. It doesn't go on forever. And you theorize about God. You theorize about what will happen after you die. You may even convince yourself that you know, but the reality is you don't know. Because it's not part of your human experience. You don't know on the human level. Perhaps there is another intuitive level that you do know, but not on the human level. It's not a part of your day-to-day experience. You may have beliefs, you may not have beliefs. You may live in the uncertainty. But this identification with being an individual who lives in a body and a mind, this, according to the yogis, is the fundamental source of suffering. It's the basic source of suffering. Because the minute you identify yourself as a unique individual, separate from all else, you are faced with the need for love, the need for wholeness, the need for survival, and the struggle to acquire, and the fear of losing, the struggle to live, and the fear of death is the ultimate of this condition of human life. And it is this condition which is the fundamental base of suffering. So whether you choose to love or you choose to be an ascetic and live in a cave and never love anyone or attach yourself to anything. You are in the same position as long as you identify yourself as an individual, a unique, separate person who lives in a body and lives in a mind. Consciousness, aware intelligence, is then identified with separateness, with individuality. And that, the yogis say, is the fundamental cause of suffering. Because by the nature of your individuality and separateness, you must strive and you must fear. The world is a big place, and you're not so big. You're an individual. So naturally, you have to secure yourself in all ways, whether it's just in your pseudo detachment of your small, isolated home or cave, and you attach to no one. You think you have detachment, but you don't. You're still an individual, and that's how you're striving to be safe, to avoid suffering. And if you're out in the world, that's how you're striving, to be safe and to avoid suffering. You love your loved ones, and in the moment it's good. You're there with them until something happens. You're safe. And if you don't think about tomorrow, you'll feel safe today. So this condition of fear, loss, and suffering, of the need of striving, has beneath it a fundamental commonality, no matter what your particular situation is, and that is your sense of I amness, your sense of I am an individual. I am separate from everything else. In your separateness, in your body-mind identity, is the fundamental root cause of your suffering. But through deep inquiry, through deep knowledge, you come to yourself. You come to realize that this very idea of a separate self is a dream, a false assumption. The idea that you are an individual separate from the rest of the universe, the rest of the world, from other living beings, is an assumption made because conscious awareness is immersed in the body-mind experience. Therefore, it makes the false assumption that it is the body-mind. It is limited. You are limited. You falsely assume limitation. You falsely assume separation. And then you falsely assume you are a unique individual, and you become attached to that uniqueness. But consciousness that knows, that knower of your uniqueness, your Atman, your soul, is not bound in the body and the mind. They are vehicles which it is experiencing. But that soul, that Atman, has the ability to know, to be a part of the infinite whole of everything. For the Atman, the individual soul or spirit is a part of the Paramatma. In reality, it's merged into the Paramatma, the soul or spirit of all beings. That consciousness, that love, that awakened awareness, that is the knower, the experiencer of everything, is one. And your soul, your spirit, your Atman is part of that, part of the whole. So through deep meditation and deep self-inquiry, or through special moments in life where the aha comes, you feel your awareness melt into the whole. You feel yourself part of something greater than your individual existence. And you know that you're not alone, you're not separate. You are part of an interwoven, integrated whole, not defined by form, but defined by love, defined by conscious, intelligent love, a wholeness of being that is always one and never separate. All forms exist within this wholeness of being. All forms exist within this conscious, intelligent, unconditioned love, within this awareness, within this divine nature. All exists, all is. There is pain in human life as well as joy. When consciousness is embodied in form, forms have beginnings and ends. Though even science will tell you that which is the form only changes, it's never lost. All is. But in a changing world of forms, there is bound to be pleasure and pain. There is bound to be gain and loss. But suffering comes when your own true nature is forgotten, when the eternal nature of the self is lost from view, and you feel that you ride this ups and downs of life and there's nothing else. Then when it's down, it truly feels down. It truly feels terrible. And you suffer. Suffering, the yogis say, suffering is real, but the cause of suffering is not. The cause is the assumption that you are not whole, that you are not ever one, that you are not in deep love and peace always. You assume that the embodied experience is your unique individuality, and it can be shattered by tragic experiences. That you can be shattered by tragic experiences. and that you can be somehow made whole by acquiring more. The reality is by letting go, surrendering, falling back into your own essential nature, that love which is eternal and never dies, that love which always is your real nature. By letting go into the God self, into eternal being, you fall back into your true nature. Then these highs and lows of life, they're part of the dance of creation, natural to the dance of creation. Light can only be known by darkness. Darkness can only be known by light. The contrasts and dualities of creation are natural, and they are the play and the dance of love. The dance of love, which brings consciousness which forgets out of darkness into light, into love, into remembering. You are not the dream. Melt into the dreamer. Melt in to the one. For that is your own self, your natural state of being. Then the highs and lows of life come and go, but they are not necessarily suffering. Loss and acquisition are natural. Tears and laughter are natural. Pain and joy are natural. It's all natural. If your awareness rests in eternal nature, in your true natural state of being, then the highs and lows, the ebb and flow of life becomes something to be a part of. But to know in the ebb and flow, it's like the waves on the surface of the sea. In its deeper nature, it is always calm. But in the play of manifestation, it is the play of dark and light, the play of life and death, the play of being, the dream, the simulation, the illusion, the relative reality. And for one whose mind and heart are rest in the eternal one, you dance the dance with all your heart. You love all beings as the one, the embodiment of the one. And you know you are united in love. Forms come and go, but the self remains ever the same. You remain ever the same, not alone, not separate, but eternally merged, eternally surrendered into the deep truth of the unitary whole of love divine. Really.